When examining the question of whether Aristotle can be considered an early theorist of immaterial realms, it is essential to first contextualize his philosophy. Aristotle's philosophy is deeply rooted in the observation of the natural world, yet it also engages with abstract concepts that suggest an understanding of immaterial realities. Aristotle's approach combines empirical observation with rational deduction, laying the groundwork for his metaphysical inquiries into the nature of existence. The importance of contextualizing Aristotle's philosophy in this discussion lies in distinguishing between his empirical methodologies and his theoretical contributions to metaphysics. Aristotle is known for his insistence on studying concrete reality to understand abstract principles. However, through his notion of the unmoved mover and the concept of the soul as the essence of living beings, he provides a framework that can be interpreted as acknowledging immaterial dimensions. Two significant examples illustrate this point. Firstly, Aristotle's concept of the unmoved mover describes a primary cause that itself is not caused by anything else. This aligns with the notion of a transcendent reality influencing the material world, suggesting an immaterial realm of influence. Secondly, Aristotle's definition of the soul, particularly within his work, De Anima, reveals his belief in an immaterial essence underlying physical forms. This soul, as the form of the body, indicates Aristotle's recognition of non-material aspects as vital components of reality. There are proponents who argue that Aristotle's metaphysical explorations hint at an implicit understanding of immaterial realms, thus laying early foundations for later philosophical and theological concepts of non-material existence. However, this view is not without its challenges. Critics argue that Aristotle remained fundamentally an empiricist and that his philosophies do not concretely delineate a separate immaterial realm, but rather integrate abstract ideas as part of natural processes. This tension within Aristotle's philosophy influences ongoing debates about the material and immaterial dichotomy. His work offers a bridge for later philosophers like Thomas Aquinas, who expanded on Aristotle's ideas to more explicitly articulate the existence of immaterial realms. Hence, understanding Aristotle's philosophy is crucial. It allows us to grasp how early metaphysical thought developed into robust discussions about the nature of reality, including both material and potential immaterial aspects, influencing vast areas from theology to modern scientific inquiry. Aristotle's metaphysical framework refers to his comprehensive system of understanding the fundamental nature of reality, which includes the study of being, existence, and the universe at its most abstract level. This framework is primarily detailed in his work Metaphysics, where he explores concepts such as substance, form, and potentiality versus actuality. Central to his metaphysics is the notion of substance as the core reality, underlying all things, and the idea that everything has a purpose or final cause. These concepts are essential for understanding whether Aristotle's thought can be seen as an early exploration of immaterial realms, since they offer a foundation for discussions on the nature of existence beyond the physical. The significance of Aristotle's metaphysical framework lies in its influence on later philosophical discourse concerning the immaterial or metaphysical aspects of reality, which are not directly accessible to the senses. Although Aristotle is often credited with grounding his theories in the natural world, his ideas about the immaterial aspects of forms and essences suggest a nuanced exploration of realms beyond mere physicality. This makes the question of Aristotle as an early theorist of immaterial realms intriguing and relevant. A real-world application of this is seen in theology, where Aristotle's ideas were foundational for scholastic philosophers like Thomas Aquinas, who integrated Aristotelian metaphysics with Christian theology to discuss the nature of God as an immaterial being. Another example is in the realm of psychology. Aristotle's concept of the soul as the form of a living body proposed an early theory on consciousness and the immaterial aspects of human existence, influencing centuries of psychological thought. Support for the idea that Aristotle delved into immaterial realms is notably found in the Neoplatonic interpretations of his work, where Aristotle's notion of the unmoved mover is seen as aligning with immaterial divine principles. However, challenges arise from more materialist philosophers who argue that Aristotle remained fundamentally anchored in physical reality and empirical investigation, focusing more on observable nature than on abstract realms. This metaphysical inquiry into substance, form, and purpose influences other aspects of Aristotle's philosophy, such as ethics and natural sciences, demonstrating a comprehensive system where the immaterial and material intertwine. Such integration underscores the complexity of assessing Aristotle purely as an early theorist of immaterial realms, positioning his metaphysical framework as a bridge between the tangible and the abstract, and inviting continued exploration and debate. Understanding immaterial realms in ancient philosophy involves examining how early thinkers conceived of realities beyond the physical world. This concept refers to the belief in a non-material dimension of existence that influences or underpins the tangible universe. Ancient philosophers, including Aristotle, engaged with these ideas, albeit not always in the same mystical or otherworldly manner as Plato. Aristotle's approach to immaterial realms was more subdued, focusing on aspects like the mind and the essence of being, rather than a separate realm of forms. The significance of exploring immaterial realms in ancient philosophy lies in comprehending how these early ideas laid the foundation for later metaphysical and ontological inquiries. It also invites us to reconsider Aristotle's position as a contributor to thoughts on immateriality, challenging opinions that often position him strictly as an empiricist concerned solely with tangible realities. A prominent example of immaterial realms in this context is Aristotle's concept of the unmoved mover, a philosophical idea that refers to a cause or prime mover that itself remains unaffected by any external influence. This supports the notion of a non-physical principle underpinning the universe, suggesting Aristotle's involvement with ideas beyond mere materialism. Another example can be seen in Aristotle's theory of the soul, which he described as the form of the body, signifying an intangible part essential to life and cognition, further reinforcing his consideration of immaterial aspects as integral to understanding reality. Several philosophers and scholars have supported the idea that Aristotle was indeed interested in immaterial realms. Prominent among them is Thomas Aquinas, who interpreted Aristotle through a theological lens, emphasizing the compatibility of Aristotelian philosophy with Christian doctrines of spirituality and immateriality. However, challenges exist, especially regarding Aristotle's apparent empirical leanings. Critics argue that his work focuses predominantly on tangible phenomena, leaving little room for the speculation of unobservable realms. Moreover, there are alternative viewpoints that underscore a more naturalistic interpretation of Aristotle, suggesting his ideas on the mind and soul were more abstract extensions of physical processes, not truly immaterial. This exploration of immaterial realms connects to broader discussions in ancient philosophy about the nature of existence and reality's complex layers. It nuances our understanding of Aristotle, revealing him as a thinker open to metaphysical speculation while grounded in empirical inquiry. This duality continues to influence philosophical discourse, enriching our perspectives on the relationship between the material and the immaterial. Aristotle's notions of substance and essence are central to understanding his philosophy and provide a foundation for discussing whether he was an early theorist of immaterial realms. In Aristotle's framework, substance refers to what something fundamentally is, its essence or nature. Essence, then, is what makes a substance what it is, its defining characteristics. A classic example is a particular tree. Its substance is that it is a tree, while its essence might be its species, such as oak or pine, which dictates its specific characteristics. For Aristotle, substances are the primary realities, more so than abstract universals or particular instances. This concept is significant when considering Aristotle's stance on immaterial realms. Unlike Plato, who posited a realm of ideal forms existing independent of material objects, Aristotle believed that essence is found within the object itself, not apart from it. However, his acknowledgement of the essence suggests an early grappling with the idea of immaterial qualities that exist even as they manifest in material forms. Thus, Aristotle's view can be seen as a bridge between purely physicalist conceptions and Platonic idealism, making it pertinent to discussions about immaterial realms. Real-world applications of Aristotle's notions can be seen today. For instance, in biology, the classification of living organisms reflects Aristotelian principles, as scientists determine an organism's essence by identifying features that define its species. In AI development, understanding the essence of human thought processes is key to building machines that mimic human reasoning. By determining the substance and essence of cognition, researchers aim to recreate them in digital formats, a nod to Aristotle's influence on contemporary scientific exploration. Scholars like Thomas Aquinas have supported Aristotle's views, integrating his concepts of substance and essence into theological frameworks, arguing that such notions naturally lead to understanding a world comprised of both material and immaterial dimensions. However, criticisms arise from those who argue that Aristotle's refusal to detach essence from physical form limits the scope of truly engaging with immaterial realms. These critics point to the lack of a distinct immaterial realm in his philosophy as evidence that he remained grounded in the material world. Despite these challenges, Aristotle's notions of substance and essence are crucial for investigating how material reality relates to immaterial concepts. They directly influence other aspects of discussions on immaterial realms by providing a structured framework for understanding the very fabric of reality, both tangible and intangible. In contemplating the nature of existence, Aristotle's ideas remain foundational, offering rich insights into how we might perceive the relationship between the material world and beyond.